I'm Krista Loos, the wellness dietitian here at KSB Hospital. For our monthly nutrition education, we're going to be talking about grilling protein sources today. I will be joined with Gail Beck, the registered dietitian. She also does outpatient diabetes education, as well as Linda Setchell, the food and nutrition director here at KSB. I just wanted to touch briefly on our last education topic about protein, the importance of protein. So it's essential for our skin, muscle, and tissue rebuilding and repair. It's also a really important aspect for satiety and helping us feel fuller longer throughout the day. So some of those protein-rich foods, we have our animal proteins, the chicken, beef, fish, pork, as well as some of those plant-based sources, tofu, beans, nuts. Those are all really good sources of protein. But today we will be talking about grilling those different animal protein sources.
Hi friends, I'm Linda Setchell, Director of KSB's Dietary Department. I want to welcome you to the KSB patio. Today we're helping Krista with some grilling tips. If you want to take a little peek in here, we have a variety of things going. We've got some rice we're going to make and some potatoes, and we've got kebabs going in this grill. I do want to talk just a little bit about food safety. So when you get ready to start grilling, always turn your grill on, bring it up on high, get it cleaned, and then adjust it to whatever temperature. I usually take it down low and then bring it back up as I need to have everything cook correctly. Make sure your hands are cleaned and you have utensils. You never want to cross-contaminate or take a chicken breast and cook it right next to a piece of steak, because they both cook at different temperatures. So maybe cook chicken on one half the grill and the beef on the other, but just do things to make sure that you keep your products safe. And then I'm going to cook some tofu. I'm going to do it a couple different ways. I'm going to grill some strips. We've got a firm tofu so it holds together, it won't fall apart. It'll be like eating a nice piece of chicken. It'll be flavored with whatever you cook it with, so I'm actually going to cook some asparagus to go along with it. I'm going to put a little bit of lemon on it. And then I've got some steaks I'm going to put on the grill down here, and I'm going to get those going now, and then we can come back in a few minutes and talk about the kebabs we're cooking, and I'm going to hand it over to Krista.
So I wanted to touch briefly on internal cooking temps of some of these animal proteins. So the internal temperature you're looking for poultry, so chicken or turkey, is 165 degrees Fahrenheit. When you're cooking fish, you're looking for it to be opaque or shooting for an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Pork is the same temperature. You're looking for 145 degrees Fahrenheit. And with beef or steak, you can kind of cook it to preference, generally shooting for about 145 degrees up to about 160 degrees Fahrenheit.
I'm Gail Beck. I'm one of the dietitians here at the hospital, and I'm going to talk a little bit about portion control. When we talk about meat or any kind of a protein, we're looking at about the size of the palm of your hand, or about the size of the deck of cards, and it can be of like 2 to 3 inches thick. So when we look at our plate, when we look at our whole plate for portion control, we can see the protein is about a third of this, well, it's about a fourth of this plate. Half of it would be vegetables and half of it would be grains. Now, if you're having a picnic, where do you think most of the people put the meat? Blank, right here in the middle of the big part, when in reality it should be in one of the little parts. So what I'm trying to get through to you is that what we need to do is we need to balance out our food a little bit and watch the amount of protein that we're actually serving at a meal.
All right, so here we go with our tofu. As you can see, it's just a package that comes right from the store, and it's just organic tofu. So we're going to put it on here with our meats that we have already on the grill. We've got a ribeye steak, we've got a chicken breast, we've got a salmon, a teriyaki salmon, we have a plain pork chop, a barbecued pork chop, and then we have a honey mustard chicken. We're going to take our tofu and put it right here in the middle. Careful not to touch any of the other products on there for the vegans that would like to have it be uncontaminated. And then for seasonings, I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of lemon juice on it. And then on my other grill in just a few minutes, I'm going to start some asparagus to go with it that I think will complement it real well. And we also have some rice cooking So that'll make a real nice vegetarian entree. And as we come over here to this grill, we have some steak kebabs. And with the steak kebab, I put a mushroom, I put a chunk of pineapple, because if you'll recall in our last video series, pineapple will actually help to soften the meat, tenderize the meat. So there's our steak kebabs. And then we have some rice cooking up here. See our beautiful rice? I do elevate that off of the heat, and the reason I do that is because it will just sit right on it. When you remove it up, it's an indirect heat and it helps it to cook without browning the bottom. That rice just came out beautiful. To prepare a rice, it's going to be 1 part to 2 parts. 2 parts water to 1 part of whatever your rice is. You can see how nice and light and fluffy that is. And I'm going to move my pans here. And up here I have some barbecue tofu that I'm cooking, which will pick up the flavor of the barbecue. And then I made some asparagus kebabs. And again, I put a pepper and I put a mushroom on there with the asparagus. I did salt and pepper just lightly. And then we're going to take and add the tofu to it. So right there's the barbecue tofu. You can add more barbecue seasoning to it if you'd like, but it's again a very nice selection for those that don't want to have meat but want to have a good portion or a good selection of protein. So whenever I cook a vegetable right on the grill, I have done a cauliflower and I did salt and pepper and put butter and Parmesan on it, rotated, and then at the end you want to put the Parmesan on after it's done. But you always want to make sure that you use some kind of pan spray on it. You can put butter or oil on it, you can marinate it. I usually use pan spray. And then again, you can salt and pepper. And I'm going to close this door just so that will start to cook in there. So I have my grill set very low down here, but this is the kind of thing that you want to cook them to where you want them done. Now, you can always use a thermometer to check the internal temperature. And like Krista said, this is 145 for the fish, it's 145 for the pork chop, 165 for the chicken, and then the steak can be however you want it to be. Usually recommended that's over 130, but if you wanted to have a rare steak, you can pull it off when it's good and rare for you. Like our dietitian Gail loves to have her meat rare, and so these would be coming off right now for her. And then we have the tofu. The tofu, because it's a plant-based item, is going to cook quickly. And you really only need to heat it up. So I've got some nice seasoning there. So you might be saying, well, Linda, how long do you cook these items? I usually go about 5 minutes aside and flip them. And then I come back and I'll go a little longer if they're not done yet. You can see that I'm getting some nice lines on here and my pork is cooking slowly. So my piece of salmon just started to fall apart, which is a good sign because it's starting to get closer to done. Okay? One of the things that I can teach you about cooking meat, if you're interested, on how to cook it to different temperatures without having a probe, if you put your forefinger and your thumb together and then you squeeze this fleshy part of your hand, it's going to feel soft. Okay? It's squishy. When you go down one, it gets a little tighter. So when it's squishy, the first one, this is going to be a medium rare. When you move it to the middle finger, it's a little tighter, and that's going to be medium. And then when you take it to your ring finger, it gets tighter, and you go all the way to the little finger, it's real firm, and that's going to be a well done piece of meat. So then to judge it, you want to take your tongue and you want to push on it. And when it's real flimsy, it's going to be a rare piece of meat. The firmer that it gets, the more well done it is. And if you like crisscrosses, you just have to make sure that you flip it to each side to get your crisscross marks on it. We'll close this up again. All right, so now we're going to come back in here and check the temperature of our salmon. So those of you that have a thermometer, bimetallic metal stem, this particular one is digital. You can get a readout, a dial that reads out also. But you just put it into the thickest portion of the meat and you monitor the temperature. And as it slowly goes up, right now it's about 125 degrees. I'll check the teriyaki salmon. Now, if you guys remember, we told you it needed to be at a particular temperature, and just to help you remember, it needs to be 145. So right now, we have a salmon with the teriyaki glaze on it that is 161 degrees. And we're going to come down here to this other grill. Put a little bit of rice with it. Throw your asparagus spears on it, and what a tasty dinner that is. So now I have my ribeye is done, and if you look at it, you can see real faint grill marks on it, but I cooked it at a real low temperature so as not to burn it. Because in my family, we don't like burnt steaks. And then what I made over here are some roasted potatoes. Make sure you have a pot holder with you because the pans get hot on the grill. And there we go. Another nice ribeye dinner with roasted potatoes. In order to keep everything safe, make sure that you turn the grill off when you're done, and you also want to go underneath and turn the gas off so that it doesn't continue to leak. So everything's safe and secure until the next time you come out to grill. So here we have our 2 pieces of chicken. I have just a plain chicken breast. You can marinate it with teriyaki seasoning. You can make them barbecue. You can put Italian seasoning on them. You can marinate them in Italian dressing. We used a honey mustard dressing for the one. And again, you can put them with anything that you'd like to. You can have a nice tossed salad with them. This one is 165 and this one is 168. So you just want to make sure that you do get them to the right temperature so that you keep your family safe. So then what I did here is we put a dry rub on our pork chop, and I put just a little bit of barbecue sauce on the side for a little garnish along with the potatoes and the roasted asparagus. You can do broccoli spears on the grill. You can do about anything that you want. You can take some big portobello mushrooms and put them on the grill. Anything that you like that you do inside your house, you can do outside on the grill. If you want to do the potatoes or the rice, or you want to have a foil packet, you can do that kind of stuff all summer long without heating up your house to turn on the oven. So enjoy your dinner.
Thanks everyone for watching this month's nutrition topic on grilling proteins. I want to thank KSB Community and Wellness for hosting these nutrition educations monthly. Next month, stay tuned for our grocery store tour. We'll be hosting that over in the grocery store again. And thanks again for tuning in for this month's nutrition topic.